Here we have a group of 10 American school books, mostly printed and published prior to the mid-1850s. This first one is bound in full leather and is published actually 1806 in Trenton, New Jersey. It is for the teaching of Latin, and so this is a Latin book. Look at that, bound in leather for a school, full leather. This one here, we'll go through them just randomly, there's no particular order, is a school geography. Originally there were pictorial covers on this and with printing on the back, and it has been so rubbed that they've just rubbed right off. The book has clearly been consulted, 1847, by Thomas Copperthwaite, a well-known publisher of geography books and atlases and so on. This is really interesting because there are all of these dozens, if not hundreds, of these small wood-engraved images. Indian territory, emigrant Indians landing at Fort Gibson, this highly stylized, naive, almost folk art illustration technique. Indians attacking Missouri traders here, Illinois College in the distance. Yeah, very interesting view on the Mississippi River, tall mast ships. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, I could go through this page by page with you, but we'll keep moving. And so now here is a early geography book, as in for early readers here, and this actually has an early inscription in it, and it's 1858. Here's a school mistress using a wall map to instruct children in geography, and here are some hand-colored maps depicting concepts of geography and so on. Here we have a map of the American West, that's hand-colored. Here's a map of the western states, hand-colored, of course, southern, and here's a map of all of the United States. And there's a map of Africa showing mountains of the moon right there, apocryphal mountain chain, and so on. There we are. Okay, and there, now we've seen this. The next one is, wow, look at the condition of this, 1831. This goes to show you that these kinds of books were read almost to the point of out of existence. That's what makes them so scarce. 1831, it appears here, yes, by Cummings, its first lessons in geography and astronomy. And I think we should find within it, look at this, it looks like it's, it's seen extensive handling and even water staining. There's a very crude, primitive, wood-engraved map right there. And there's another one, and so on. Yeah, this is about as bad as a book can be before it just simply stops being a book. Yeah, and again, we see Mountains of the Moon right here, which is very interesting. Wow, that is... And here we've got this German language book, which is a little bit later, actually. 1876 shows a B with an I indicating industry. And it's a sort of almost like a primer, but like an ABC book, and teaching words and letters to German children, German-speaking children, I should say, in the United States. Here is in 1847, Mitchell, primary school geography, like so. Again, we see this assortment of original hand-colored maps with this assortment of very interesting wood-engraved images. That one there was one just had the caption Hottentots. And here is a Hindu widow performing the suttee, or burning herself, suttee, with the dead body of her husband. Jerusalem taken by Romans. Tiger hunting from on top of elephants. There's a map of Europe. Yeah, these are very fascinating because, without any question, this commentary has embedded within it all of the stereotypes of the era. There's the Washington family. There's North America. Look at that. That's very interesting because what we see here is Oregon extending way up to include British Columbia. Yeah, that's before that boundary was established through a treaty. Here's a vast Indian territory right there, Missouri territory right there. And that's interesting. That's an Iowa territory and a Wisconsin. Look at the configuration of the outline shapes of those. Very interesting. And let's see, there's New England. And yes, all kinds of, look at that, yeah. Very interesting, okay. And look at this, ha! Original wooden boards, my goodness, chipped away. This is the rear cover. It would have originally been covered with blue paper, and this is just the remnants of it. This is actual physical wood that was used to bind books with leather spine, like so. It has literally been used almost out of existence. It's 1821, American Preceptor by Caleb Bingham, a classic and well-known work that was reprinted many times. And this one here has been handled and read to the point of looking like this. Here's another book in a full leather binding that someone has carefully and almost skillfully rebacked part of it. It says here it lacks a few pages. It's 1806, Boston. It's a New Hampshire Latin grammar, which is very interesting. Huh, that is very interesting. Guess you had to be in New Hampshire to use it. Well, luckily that's where we are, so I guess if we wanted to, it's okay for us to consult this. And we see here that this one survives like so with some toning. And very interesting how someone has taken it upon themselves to repair it in this way. Here's another very early binding with a leather spine, paper-covered boards like this. I do believe underneath we could see, yes, the original wooden boards are exposed here. Looks like this, yep, you can see the wooden of the board right there. And we see here 1822, so we know that they were using wooden boards for American school books in the 1820s in the United States. This is a Noah Webster. This went through numerous editions as well. Look at this. Somebody has taped with paper tape this illustration here. What have they done? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe they repaired it. I think it looks like they repaired it. Yes, that would be it. And the same they've done here. So primitive and crude. It's fascinating, really, because once you accept the book is in terrible condition, then it just becomes interesting to see what's been done to it and how it's been utilized and read to the point where it survives like this. And then the final book bound in full leather is this 1809 Baltimore imprint. Again, we see the instruction for Latin, and the front cover is detached, and the text block remains like so, mostly still sewn and tight as issued. And so this group of 10 American school books, 9 of which date before 1850, is available now online from me, Brian DiMambro.